Hope I'm online now. Sorry for the slight delay. A little bit of technical hiccups, but I think I should be live by now. Let's just see if it works out. I have started streaming, but system doesn't show. Okay, here we are. I guess we have started streaming. Okay, so good morning all. This is the 18th of November 2025, and today I think all my bearish theses have come to bear. Futures are lower in the pre-market with Dow Jones, S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 all down by roughly 1/4 to 1/3%. The sell-off follows yesterday's broad risk-off session highlighted by steep declines across indices and heightened volatility as traders seem to brace for major earnings and economics data. And economic data have not been released by the BLS for a while now. And in terms of major earnings, I think the focus is more on NVDA, which is going to report tomorrow, with option prices suggesting large single stock moves. I also have some news about what Michael Burry is talking about that is related to this. We'll talk about it soon. Home Depot reported slightly lower Q3 earnings, reinforcing defensive positioning as consumer activities show signs of slowing. Personally, based on market reports, hi hot dog. Personally, based on market reports, I believe that the US consumer is actually tapped out. Youth unemployment is pretty high, and the number of people looking for jobs has dropped. So this is one of the aspects that I am looking at. On the other hand, you also have news that the repo facility is being overused, which means there is a liquidity issue that is happening. And on top of that, you have the tariff mess where Supreme Court is going to rule on it. And we also have political instability going on. So all of these things do not underpin a very strong market. Now, you also have AI bubble concerns that are taking center stage. So I think ultimately it was the last straw on the back of the camel. And I think we are due for a correction. And I'm going to explain to you why I think so. Again, remember, friends, I'm just a retail investor like yourself. I'm just sharing my thoughts with you. And I would like to get your feedback as well. So this is not financial advice, so be very clear about that. Michael Burry has issued a new warning. Let me show you the article and let me briefly explain what he's saying there. So he's giving us a stark warning about a potential bubble in AI stocks, making his point through a Lord of the Rings meme. He has got this posted on X, I think. And he has recently deregistered his hedge fund, signaling a step back from public disclosures because he doesn't want to show what his positions are. And he believes that there is a lot of exuberance in the market, which we call as irrational exuberance, particularly around AI, which he thinks is dangerously overstretched. So Burry has highlighted his bearish thesis through SEC filings that show large short positions against AI leaders like NVDA and Palantir, suggesting these companies might be overvalued as part of what he sees as an overheated speculation cycle similar to previous tech or housing bubbles. And that's where he's using this chart to get some kind of a ratio between S&P 500 capital expenditures versus GDP to paint a picture of excess investments relative to economic output. And he thinks that there is a 2-year lag between the peak of investment and the downturn coming in. So basically, he's absolutely bearish, and that probably has made a lot of people in the market rethink. And that's why we are seeing the weakness. Now let's switch on directly to the TradingView platform, which is where all the exciting information comes through. Guys, remember I had drawn a neckline out here. This is a very conservative neckline for a head and shoulder pattern. Now, in this head and shoulder pattern, I think we are approaching the neckline. Pre-market, we are down 0.69% today, and the neckline is happening to be at around, come on, let me just look at the number here, 6,594, and right now we are at 6,644 out here. So in the pre-market. So I think it's inevitable that we are going to hit the neckline. The question is whether we are going to go down further. Yes, thanks for joining. Yeah, I'll check out Netflix as well. So I have a target here for S&P 500, which is 6,229, assuming that we are going to breach this neckline. I think the neckline breach is inevitable because market sentiment is bearish. MACD is also very bearish, but momentum is still falling. There is a lot of room for the momentum to fall down further. So dead cat bounce may not be imminent. So I'm thinking that by the end of today, we would have either touched this neckline or fallen below the neckline. Falling below is just the first step. The second is to confirm below. So we have this long-term diagonal line of support which was breached yesterday. And to confirm that, we have to close below 6,643. And if we do that, then we would have confirmed this diagonal line of support as a diagonal line of resistance. So step by step we start coming down, and then we have this diagonal line of support from a previous parallel channel, which for today happens to be at 6604.50, and right now we are just above that at 6647.25. So it's a very crucial test that's happening today, and today could be a pivotal day. And look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq, I have a target of around 23,263.75. Assuming this to be a neckline, this red line out here, and we have already breached the neckline. So for Nasdaq, I'm thinking that 23,295.50 is a distinct possibility. So let us look at that and see how things proceed. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. The neckline is this blue one out here. Let me just mark this so that we can very clearly see, that I don't get confused in future. And I need an arrow. Where is an arrow? So this is the neckline, and we are likely to breach the neckline today. Right now we are down 0.73%. We are at 24,702.50. I'm feeling that today we are likely to breach this neckline, and if we breach this neckline, then I think our target is likely to be 22,772.25 for Nasdaq futures. These are all for futures. Dollar index is slightly up, and VIX is up 4.5%. That's again another reason why I think that we are likely to come down further, because VIX is elevated and we are above 20 for the last couple of days. Gold is coming down. I think a critical support for gold is going to be 3,959, at which stage I expect it to at least bounce. If it doesn't bounce, then the next support for gold today is going to be 3,941. And as the days go by, these two lines of support merge together and become stronger and stronger. And when we come to around 3rd of December, it's a very strong point out there. For a small period of time, almost a week, it's a very strong support for gold. So I'm thinking that in the short term, maybe gold might fall and we may have buying opportunities somewhere close to 3,959. At least I'll be buying. Right now, I still have gold in my portfolio. It is still profitable because I bought it a little less expensive. So I'm going to be dollar cost averaging when we hit 3,959 out here. And that's what I'm thinking. Put call ratio is almost neutral. And I want to look at Billy just to see what is happening. Billy has fallen below this parallel channel and it's not doing very well. So I have a lot of losses out there. I don't expect a dead cat bounce anytime soon. And we have a big line of support out here. I would draw this as a line of support, and if we fall below this, then I think we are in trouble. I'm expecting that we're going to bounce off this and try to get back into the parallel channel. So that's my call out there. And then let's go on and have a look at the indicators themselves. S&P 500. Now S&P 500 has a neckline which is at around 6,552 for a head and shoulder pattern. And I think for today, Our immediate support is 6,647.01. And if we break down below this, then our neckline becomes the next support. And I think that we are likely to break down below our support of 6,643.80 today. So we'll watch what happens when the proceedings take place. Market sentiment, MACD, everything is bearish. I'm not expecting a dead cat bounce yet because momentum is still elevated even though it is below average. Nasdaq index is down 0.83% as of yesterday, but it is still within the shadow of this candle from 14th of November. And as we start looking at the Max 7s and the AI stocks, you will find all of their candles happen to be within the shadow of the green candle that was formed on 14th of November. Earlier we were on the upper side, today we will be on the lower side, indicating that there's a possibility that we are going to break through the support of 24,667.84. Now, if you look at QQQ is already down 54% in pre-market trades. Yesterday, we had a candle which was within the body of the candle from the 14th of November, which was a green candle from the bounce of this parallel channel. Yesterday also, we bounced off the parallel channel. The parallel channel has had a touchdown many times. Once, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this parallel channel is now very weak. Anytime we come down to this, we are going to break down through this. Pre-market, we are already very close to the support of 600.08. We are at 600.34. I predict that we are going to fall below this parallel channel today, and we are going to come very close to our neckline for the head and shoulder pattern. The neckline happens to be at 589.43. And if we breach that, then we have one support at 583.63. And I'm going to draw you the target for this one. And the target is going to be 544.80. I would call that all a correction because if you look at where we start from and where we are likely to end, it is more than 10%. So if it happens, it's going to be a correction. That's why I use the word correction out there. Now let's go on and have a look at AI. NVDA is down 0.95% in pre-market trades, and it still has got a support at 183.57. Now friends, I mentioned to you yesterday that I have a suspicion that we have a head and shoulder pattern out here, and I'm just going to draw that. So I would say this is a shoulder, this is the head, and this is the second shoulder. Now if this were a head and shoulder, I think that our neckline should probably be somewhere out here. So this is our neckline, which is going to be at 179.59. So if we fall below 179.59, then I can have a head and shoulder targets. So this is what I'm looking at, friends. Please let me know what you think. Does it look like a head and shoulder pattern to you? Right? That's a question to ask. Now let me do something online. Let me ask AI if it thinks that this is a head and shoulder pattern. So I'm just going to copy this whole thing, and let's go in here and go to Perplexity AI. Do you see a head and shoulders pattern here? Let us see what it says. Yes, there is a clear head and shoulders pattern visible on this NVDA daily chart. The head and shoulder formation is marked by three peaks, a higher center, head and lower, which are outlined. The pattern typically, hi bear boy, David, signals. So let me ask it a specific question. That is a pattern I drew. Can you validate if it is a real? Do you think I have the, do you think we have a head and shoulders. So I'll ask a specific question. Don't go by what you see there. Can be validated as head and shoulders formation and indicates technical weakness with a potential for further downside if selling continues. Okay, guys. So AI also says, be careful when you buy the dips. Be careful. Always be careful. Okay, so here is our head and shoulders pattern for NVIDIA, and its earnings are due tomorrow. So if the earnings happen to be a buy the news and sell the buy the rumor and sell the news kind of a situation, then I think it's likely to fall down further. And if, like Michael Burry says, that AI stocks have got a lot of shorts on them, then there could be a short squeeze also happening in case the earnings doesn't come worse, or in case the earnings meets expectations and makes people happy, then NVIDIA could zoom up like anything. And then that could pull up all the AI stocks along with it. So it's a very dicey situation out here. David Best is saying time for recession. You're preaching to the converted out here, David. I'm already a perma bear and I'm just salivating over the possibilities. But NVIDIA could be a spoiler out there, at least for a small period of time. You have Meta also going down further, 1.26. It's going down. It's still looking very bearish to me. I don't see any bullish patterns out there. Google is up 1.15%. Now, this is up because of the Warren Buffett factor. But I think that we have seen a topping tail yesterday. Unless we extinguish this topping tail, I would say that Google starts looking bearish to me right now. And if the whole market falls, I think Google is also going to follow suit. Amazon is down 2.01%, looking very bearish to me. And we have a support somewhere around 222.97. That's going to be the support for Amazon. Next, we have Apple. Apple is up 0.35%. It's going to get some support today at around 266.44. But then if we fall from there, then the next support is going to be around 259.41. We look at Microsoft. Microsoft is down 1.78% this morning. In all the cases, as I mentioned, friends, in all the cases, if you look at it, the major ones, right? For NVIDIA, 14th November, we are inside that candle. Yesterday was a doji. Today again is likely to be a doji, and we might try to stay above the support of 182.87, which is the candle from November 13th. And if you look at Meta, Meta is still within the shadow of the 14th November candle, and today it has fallen out. And if you look at Google, 14th November was not a big news for Google as such, because it was already a strong stock, but I think the topping tail tells the story. For Amazon, we continue to drop. For Apple, we continue to drop. For Microsoft, again, the 14th November candle happens to be the main shadow within which we are operating. Until we fall out of the 14th November shadow for all the Max 7s, I don't think we are going to see Max 7 going down further. And again, out here, I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but I suspect we have shoulder, head, and a shoulder. If that is the case, then let us plot out where we could find the neckline. So I think this could be the neckline. And if we fall below 482 today, then I'm thinking that the neckline will get invoked and we'll have a steep drop from there for Microsoft. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla is down 0.91%. I am a perma bear on Tesla. I think it's moving towards 350.30. And today, I might look at this as some kind of a bearish suggestion, because buyers tried to take it up, but sellers pushed it down. So let us see what happens out here. Oracle, again, the high debt equity ratio is what is pushing it down. It's down further 1.48% in pre-market trades. Full disclosure, my wife works for Oracle, and I had told her earlier to sell the stocks, but she had said that she will have a huge tax bill, and the tax bill will be equivalent to any losses that she may have, so she would decide not to sell. So she's holding on to it, but I think it has fallen significantly, and it needs to bounce back at some point, because we have The MACD, which is absolutely bearish. Momentum is also pretty big, and I think it had a dead cat bounce once, and I think it's likely to have another dead cat bounce later today. And at that time, I think this line out here at 219.79 is going to be a resistance for it, and the support I think is going to be at around 211.33. Next, let us look at AMD, which is down 1.44%. We had a support at 237.02. I'm just going to mark this as a support out here. And right now we are just above that by around 2 cents or something. And if we break down from here, I will watch for new patterns to develop, and I'll also look for a gap fill to happen out here. This was a huge gap fill to be taken care of. And then SMCI is continuing to fall down. I have SMCZ, I have already shorted it. It's very lucrative right now, but I'm not dollar cost averaging anymore because I'm seeing that the market sentiment is bearish, MACD is also bearish, momentum has dropped below, and I think we'll have a dead cat bounce again for SMCI. When that bounce happens, then I'll buy it, I'll buy more shorts and wait for it to go down further. David Best has given a lot of comments. Inf is also saying something, but I think I'll come back to all that when I finish my analysis out here. Broadcom is down 0.18%, and we are seeing very strong resistance today at 344.21 for Broadcom. So I'm going to mark all these lines red so that you can see how strong the resistance is, and I suspect that it's going to come back down to test the support of 331.34, which again is something we had, the candle that we created on the 14th of November. So 14th of November is very critical, and we also have a gap up out here which needs to be filled. So we have that to be taken care of. Next we come to Palantir, which again Michael Burry says is heavily shorted. So the 14th of November candle was what we were inside, and yesterday was a doji candle indecision, and Michael Burry is pushing people to look at the negative side of Palantir. Palantir is down 2.42. The question is, are we going to break down below the support given by the candle of November 14th, which is at 167.14. We are at 167.10. If we open below this, I think the next support for us is 160.53. So that's what I think is happening out here. And if you want to be a little bit more adventurous, I was thinking of this as the handle for the cup. You could look at this as a shoulder. So I'm not very confident about that, so I'm not going to do that. So let's go on to SMH, which again supports the entire index, stock market indices. So we are seeing support at 334.55. Pre-market we are at 336.07. Question is, are we going to break down below this? Because 14th of November candle is giving support at 335.40. If we break down below that, then definitely we're going to test this support at 334.55. And then if we drop down below that, it's going to be a steep drop. Next, let's go to Tempus AI, which continues to fall. And again, Tempus AI has got support from the candle of 14th of November, which says that 65.18 is going to be a big support. We are at 65.26. So if today we fall below that, then we have a target that we want to achieve of 58.74. So we're going to move towards that, and we might get support at 59.25. We are also due for a dead cat bounce for Tempus AI. So I wouldn't be surprised that if at later during the day, we try to erase this negative 1.73. Inf is saying Bitcoin really getting wrecked. Wish I got some BTC shorts on Friday. I was seriously considering. Bitcoin, I think, will go along with the direction of the indices. So that's what I think is likely to happen. Now let's leave all these things and go to genomics, which is what a good portion of our audience is interested in. Prime is down 2.36%, very strong resistance today. I think it's going to get a very strong resistance at 3.88 pre-market. It's at 3.73. It will get a support at around 3.10. Intelia is down 1.65%, continuing to fall down. And then we have Caribou Biosciences, which is down 1.06%. It has support at 1.85. If it breaks down below this, then boy, we are in trouble. Next, we have Beam Therapeutics, which is down 1.27% in pre-market trades. It's going to get some support at 20.96, which is where consolidations had happened in the past. Altimmune is flat in pre-market trades and it's going to get some support today at 4.07. Editas is flat in pre-market trades. A whole lot of consolidation happening out here. Potential support at 2.47. And then we have Illumina, which is down 0.90%. Illumina has got a bull flag out here in my opinion. So I would not give up on Illumina. It's still looking strong to me. I will assess temp after the effects of NVDA earnings. If it's going to be a Grinch this year, I'll consider getting in around 50. Sounds like a good plan, hot dog. CRISPR Therapeutics is down 1.37%. It will get a strong support at 53.20. But if it breaks down below 53.20, it's going to get support at 49.60, at which time I would like to nibble a little bit on CRISPR Therapeutics. Allogene is down, Allogene is up 0.41%. Allogene has got some good news about CMA-cell, but that good news is going to give some results in the first half of 2026 because they are going to give the data in the first half of 2026. So I'm thinking whatever we are seeing here is some kind of exuberance. Yesterday we had a topping tail. I think we got to wait and see where it moves. I'm not that optimistic about Allogene. I think that it's going to look at some support at 1.17. Grail is down 5.02% in pre-market trades. It has a whole lot of support out here. Let me draw a line for you guys out here. Actually, I should have drawn a box. So let me just remove this. Let me draw a rectangle. Does it have a rectangle out here? No. Wait a second, where can I find a box? Hold on with me, guys. Yeah, we have a rectangle. So I would like to draw a rectangle out here. I would say that this is the support level. This is the support level for Grail. And if we fall below this, then it's curtains down. PACB is down 1.27% in pre-market trades. It still has some support from the 14th of March at 1.53. If we fall below that, then the next support is at 1.43. ARCG is down 0.71% in pre-market trades. Earlier we had a support at 26.64. Right now we are at 26.68. I'm going to think this is going to be a resistance for us. And we are going to fall below this when we open this morning. And our next support is going to be at 26.13. Vertex is down 0.33% in pre-market trades, but I'm still confident about Vertex. Ginkgo Bioworks is down 2.96% in pre-market trades. And I don't see the bottom here for Ginkgo Bioworks. Maybe we'll get some support when we come to 6.77. And let's look at Precision, which is looking pretty good to me at this point of time. And we have doji candle out here. Let us look to take out 5.19 so that we can be totally bullish out there. Yeah, Vertex has a lot of cash. Eli Lilly is also looking very strong to me. It's consolidating. This could be a bull flag and moves further up. And then we have Unicure, which is, Ultragenics, which happens to be straddling this diagonal line of support. Pre-market, it's at 32.54, and for today, this diagonal line of support becomes a diagonal line of resistance because it's at 32.68 and we are below that. So I'm going to mark that as a resistance, but I would still not worry about it because we have to confirm this as a resistance, and that will take one more candle. So I'm optimistic that later on today, we'll continue to probably consolidate and maybe move back up, or at least follow the underbelly of this diagonal line of resistance, because there's a lot of things in store for Ultragenics and it's too early to write it off. Next, I would like to go to currencies, and in currencies I'm looking at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin continues to go down. There are no new patterns that can be seen out here. We had this bear flag, and when we broke out, we already exceeded the length of the target, and we have this resistance out here right now, which is going to be at 91,746.02. That's going to be the resistance for Bitcoin today. and the support for Bitcoin today is going to be at 87,606. That I think is going to be the support for Bitcoin. Ethereum is also looking a little bit weak because I don't see any bullish patterns out here. The immediate support is at 2,983.69. That's the immediate support, and the resistance is at 3,144.71. So that's the lay of the land as far as Ethereum is concerned. I wouldn't be surprised if it broke down below 2989.55 later during the day, because Bitcoin and Ethereum typically follow the index. And we have XRP. XRP is looking a little positive. It has bounced off this support, which happens to be, let me put this here, at 2.14. It has bounced off that support, and it is well within the parallel channel, but it is bearish at this point of time. So I would like to see us build a base on this support at 2.14 in order to move upwards. Right now, it's looking quite bearish to me, and you could also say that you have a head and shoulder pattern out here. So I wouldn't be very bullish about XRP at this point of time. I happen to have XRP, Bitcoin, as well as Ethereum. I'm keeping on holding on to it at this point of time. And of course, remember, I am a retail investor like yourself, and whatever I say here are my personal opinions and not financial advice. So guys, do your own due diligence. Now let's look at all the comments and what David Best was saying, what Hot Dog is saying, and etc. NVDA earnings hype tomorrow. Yes. Bear Boy Dave here. Yes. I'm buying the dips. Be careful. 17-year boom doom. Okay. Recession already here, meaning dip buying on good stocks. Yes. But very limited dip buying, dollar cost averaging, overspend on AI when it can be done cheaper. Yeah, that's the new paradigm. That's what a few experts are saying. Do you really need to spend trillions on data centers? Overspend demand won't be there. Yeah, and when it gets obsolete, those chips will go to second grade data centers, which will still give performance, and they will undercut the pricing. Sears, that's a word I haven't heard in a long time, like Obi-Wan, Ben Kenobi. So I don't know what's going to happen to Sears. Personally, I wouldn't do gambling out here, given my risk profile. No, I don't think I will do all that with Sears. I am afraid of Sears. Sears earnings when? Okay, let me get that for you. I didn't even know that Sears was still alive. I can't see it here. I don't see Sears anywhere. I don't see Sears anywhere. I think, I don't know. Bitcoin really getting wrecked. Wish I got some on Friday. I'll assess temp. Yes. How is Grail? We did Grail hot inf. So wonder if any news. Let me go back to Grail. I think we did Grail. 5.82. Yeah, still we have the support out here. One of the things out here is that Grail is actually doing equity dilution. It is selling a whole bunch of shares. So we should expect that we'll break down below this and start coming down. So that's what is happening out there. Hot Dog is saying liquidity at 93K on BTC was grabbed. Same whales who sold are rebuying. Yeah, that could be a good possibility. Let us go and look at BTC from that angle. Let's make these candles bigger so that we can see this clearly. It's too big right now. Yeah, this just about looks right. So if I look at all the volume out here, it's all selling volumes. They're all selling volumes. There are no buying volumes out here. It's all red candles, right? We could have a dead cat bounce. And that dead cat bounce could be correlated with what happens in the indices if indices have a dead cat bounce. I think it's moving in tandem with the indices. I'm not yet dollar cost averaging it. I'll dollar cost average when my Bitcoin goes negative. That's when I'll buy. So I'm holding on at this point of time. Okay guys, so I'm almost done for today. If you have something, I would like to talk about it. Otherwise, I'm ready to wind up the session today. So if you have any tickers you want me to talk about, this would be the time. I just want to look at one more thing before I go. MP. I bought MP and it's not doing very well. Oh, you wanted me to look at Netflix. Let me look at Netflix. I don't see any reason to be bullish on Netflix. Netflix is down 0.45 today and it's going to get some support today at around 108.31. So I had a target of 118.71 for Netflix, but we are already 50% down on this double bottom. So I don't think, and even if we were to look at this as a bull flag, the red portion as a flag, it's 50% or more below the bull flag. So I'm thinking that I'm bearish. If I'm bearish, I don't know about you, but market sentiment is bearish. MACD is tending towards the signal line to go to bearish side. Momentum is below average. No, I'm not bullish. I'm not bullish on Netflix. Let's go to Meta. I have Meta. I'm holding on to it. I'm down 15 or 16% on it, and it still looks bearish to me. Potentially a dead cat bounce, but bearish. So friends, that brings me to an end of today's session, and I'll catch up with you again the next one. Bye for now, and thanks for joining.